the idea of creating a personal lexicon of images and ideas and themes and words and sounds that show up continuously is something that I mentioned in a previous video, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. So it's something that I want to talk about more and more, getting into specifics. I realize that, symbols, obviously a long human, history of symbols and what they mean and how they're symbols that sort of collectively mean same-ish things to everyone. Like, a butterfly represents certain things to almost everyone. But a butterfly might also be very specific to, like, your experience. Like, maybe you had a t-shirt when you were a kid, or maybe you hate butterflies. They freak you out. I think that they can taste colors with their feet or something. I don't know. Anyway, if you have a connection with butterflies that is negative, then it may show up in your work in a negative way. Anyway, the point is I want to identify the things that I use, both on like sort of a sort of collective symbol level and a personal symbol level, and kind of be able to differentiate between the two. But this was the purpose of this is more to tell like a story, because I was thinking about the things that people retain. In this case, something I retained. So when I was maybe 11, 9, something, I don't know, little kid, my parents took my sister and I to the drive-in, and we went to go see a film called Last Flight of Noah's Ark, with L.A. Gould and Geneviève Bujold and Ricky Schroeder. And good luck finding this movie, because I've looked for it and you can't find it anywhere. Anyway, I remember it being good. I only saw it the one time, and I don't know if it's a great film, or if it stands up. Anyway, we went to go see that movie, and for a potentially younger generation that may be viewing this, a drive-in movie theater was where you actually drove your car in to a movie to watch it on a screen with a bunch of other people in their cars, and usually, depending on the size of the drive-in movie theater complex, you might have different screens kind of spread out. So this was like 1980, and so we go to see the movie, and it's a kids movie, so that is specific to like what we're watching, because we were little kids. And my sister and I are in the back, and we've got our blankets, and we're watching the film. And I look over, and playing on another screen is a different film. Now, I can't hear it, obviously, because we're dialed into the radio station that's playing Last Flight of Noah's Ark. But on the other screen is like an adult film. And the film it's called Foxes with Jodie Foster. And again, because this movie stuck, although I didn't see it, I kept on like looking over and glancing at it, which felt like breaking a rule. It was very exciting. But I'm like looking over, I'm glancing at it, and I'm like seeing all this, what looked like very adult stuff. I remember like this part where like Scott Baio is on a skateboard, and he's got like a lighter, and it all looks very dangerous, and it just seemed very adult. And it seemed like, kind of that peeking behind the curtain, like seeing a whole other world that you specifically were not allowed to see. Like, we weren't there to see that movie. We weren't allowed to. But I remember the experience of doing that, and it's never left it's always been in my brain. It just sort of churns around in there. It pops up occasionally, like in the 90s, early 2000s. I think I did track down the Fox's DVD. I think I watched it. I was like, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting something that would just completely blow my mind, and it didn't. It was great, fine, but like it wasn't what it was seeing it that way. Anyway, the point is that goes into the personal lexicon, right? Those two films, that time, the drive-in, all of that is so specific. But I think that from that, like the ideas that are in there intrinsically, when they come out in a story or they come out in a song or something that I've put together, maybe not the specifics, but like the general idea, people can connect to it, and but for me, it helps me to understand where it came from and why it was powerful, so that when I used it as like a building tool, it would have like some potency, you know. Anyway, more than anything, it's an aside. It's a funny story, and it's not even that funny. It's just a story, but worth sharing within the framework of this whole lexicon thing. Thank you.